What's up YouTube, 10 here, and today we'll be discussing the next time on Death Battle between Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Jason Lee Scott from Power Rangers. But before we get on to that, let us discuss the last time on Death Battle. And after that rough loss to start off the season, I'm happy to say I got my first win. I was correct in my prediction saying that Black Canary was likely a better martial artist, and her overall power set was superior, especially since she scaled to higher tier DC characters, and she definitely held the superior stats in most regards. Of course, Sindel was stronger, but all the strength in the world doesn't matter when you're literally billions of times faster than your opponent. Overall, it was a good episode. I liked the animation. Sindel's hair did look a bit off, but there's not that many sprites of her, so yeah, I understand that. And they didn't want to use the old school sprites because of how restrictive they are. Dear Lord, Sonya versus Cammy, anyone? That fight looked terrible back in the day. I'm really glad we didn't get any of the old school Mortal Kombat sprites. Those sprites are terrible. At least by modern standards, that is. But, honestly, it was a good fight. I'm happy I was right. I got my first win. We're at a 50-50 now. Hopefully, I can turn that into a positive. Regardless, it was a good episode, but now, let's get into this. On to the next time. As you guys know, I'm a big Power Rangers guy. I love Power Rangers, they're my childhood, I love them to death. I was never the biggest on the original series, as I actually think it's probably the lowest point of Power Rangers in terms of raw quality. Now, that is to say that some modern seasons of Power Rangers absolutely suck, and the original is better than them. That is pretty objective, I would say. That, the original series can definitely kick some future Power Rangers' butt. Dear Lord, I'd rather watch the original over frickin' Megaforce. Dear God, that season's trash. But the original series, it's more goofy comparatively to the rest of the series, and it doesn't take itself as seriously, which, it helps it in some regard, but it was never my cup of tea. When it comes to Power Rangers, I was far more, involved with the Disney era and some of the very late Saban stuff. Besides that, I'm not really that informed on the original. Now, I do keep up with the comics, and I love the Power Rangers fighting game. That thing's a blast. But besides that, I'm not exactly that familiar with Jason and his set of powers, though I know he has the power sword. I know his sword can turn into a laser gun, or at least I believe it can, unless I'm just getting that mixed up with Dino Thunder, but it's been a minute since I've seen original Power Rangers, so do forgive me. And with Leonardo, I have history watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've watched multiple shows. I know the guy. Though, as much as I like Leonardo, there's no way I could root for him over Jason, at least not in terms at least not in terms of being a fanboy. Now, obviously my record comes first, and I'm gonna pick the character I actually think is gonna win, no matter if I liked him or not. I made that mistake last season with the last Power Rangers fight, not happening again. Now, going into this fight, there was a few things I needed the answers to. 1, does he get access to the Zords? And 2, does he get access to all the Zords? Because of the fact that other Rangers have shown they can summon other Zords, as Death Battle's pointed out in the past. So naturally speaking, if Jason gets the Zords, he wins. That is not an argument. Leonardo cannot fight a Megazord. There is no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. If the Megazord is here, Leonardo loses. That's a fact. However, Death Battle has specified the Zords are not coming. It is a straight fist-to-fist, sword-to-sword fight. No Zords will be included, no assistance from any of the other Turtles, no assistance from any of the other Power Rangers. It's a strict 1v1, that's it. With that in mind, Leonardo certainly does have a history with Death Battle. Leonardo is one of the 2 combatants to have won both fights they've appeared in. The other being Superman, just FYI. Leonardo is the only Death Battle combatant with 4 separate kills, as he defeated the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Zitz. However, those episodes were extremely early on in Death Battle's history, so it is hard to say how accurate they are. Anything in Season 1 is subject to change, and Season 1 in general, don't take Season 1 that seriously. Death Battle had 2 weeks to do that research, and it was just then. Those episodes are extremely inaccurate. And while I don't think a majority of them are wrong, I definitely think it would help if all of Season 1 got remade. At least the fights that actually matter, like Link vs. Cloud, as Death Battle said they want to redo that episode. And honestly, it does need it, as the old fight, while it was fun, I honestly think a reanalysis would help a lot. All that being said, Leonardo is a bit simplistic when it comes to his moveset. It's generally just the swords, that's about it. He does use his shell on occasion, and Leonardo is a master of using the environment to his advantage, as seen from his other fights. However, I don't know how well that'll fare against Jason. Jason is similar to Leonardo in a lot of ways, as they're both leaders and they're both generally the main protagonist. Now sure, they both share the spotlight with their other teammates, but generally they're the main guy. And in terms of their martial arts skills, I definitely think Leonardo is more proficient. However, Jason isn't too far behind him, all things considered, as Jason, before even getting his powers, was already good enough to be teaching classes on martial arts, and the Power Rangers suits increased the user's capabilities dramatically. Heck, just look at Billy. Billy was a nerd who didn't know how to fight at all. The moment he puts that suit on, he's immediately a master of martial arts. The suits at their worst make people at least competent enough to fight back against the forces of evil. Then there's the suit's power boosts. As we've seen in other series, the Power Rangers suits allowed the user to react roughly 32 times the speed of a normal human being, as calculated by Death Battle when it came to the White Ranger. Death Battle also calculated that a Power Ranger should be able to roughly lift a car, which is most certainly superhuman. However, it is still hard to say how powerful a Power Ranger truly is, all things considered, especially considering how the SPD power set is completely different comparatively to the Mighty Morphin, so it's hard to say if Jason is stronger or on par with that specific set of Power Rangers, though they all draw their power from the morphing grid, so it is realistic to say they're similar. And the morphing grid will also block damage for Jason, minimizing any attacks he's taken. All things considered, this fight really comes down to what they allow Jason to do. Jason has had multiple different random power-ups and different sets of powers. Like, for example, say the Death Battle gives him access to his powers in Zeo. Jason has worn other colors besides red. Like, what if we get the Zeo Golden Ranger? Like, dear Lord, that's a power-up. Though it's hard to say which power sets they're going to limit him on. Are they going to give him access to the Green Ranger's powers? Because Jason did have them at a point where he just had access to all of Tommy's powers. Is that going to be allowed? We know no Zords, but that is still a power-up Jason had at one point. Is that going to be allowed? It's hard to say. Ultimately, I am leaning more towards Jason, as he has a bigger arsenal, and I ultimately feel he is a stronger character. Now that being said, if Leonardo wins, I will not be surprised. He is an old-school Death Battle character, he's proven himself in the past, and he's most certainly not a weakling. All things considered, I'm looking forward to this next episode, and I look forward to seeing who's coming next. And hey, Power Rangers might just get a win. Well, that or we're going 0-4, but hey, a man can dream. This series might actually get a win. I never thought this day would come, but Power Rangers just might get a win. Anyway guys, what did you think? Who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for Leonardo, or you're backing Jason just like me? Leave it all in the comments below. This has been Tenton. Peace.